The moment the woman stepped in front of the car, rain-soaked hair clinging to her face and anger flashing in her eyes, everything seemed to freeze. The single dad behind the wheel had no idea that this stranger, blocking his path with shaking hands and a heart full of resentment, was about to turn his entire world upside down. He also did not know that she was unknowingly arguing with the very man who signed her paychecks, the boss she had cursed in her prayers, and the person whose kindness would soon challenge everything she believed about power, pride, and forgiveness. Before we dive deeper into this emotional journey, take a moment to like this video, share it, comment, and subscribe to the channel if you believe in kindness, second chances, and the quiet miracles that happen when hearts finally see the truth. The morning had already been cruel to Daniel Hayes. The alarm failed, his daughter's fever spiked again, and the old sedan coughed like it might finally give up on life. Daniel was a widowed single father juggling a demanding executive role in the fragile world of raising a 6-year-old alone. His life had become a delicate balance of hospital visits, school meetings, late-night work emails, and silent dinners where the empty chair across the table reminded him of everything he had lost. That morning, he had dropped his daughter off at school with a promise to be there early, even though his calendar screamed otherwise. He had promised because promises were the only thing holding his small family together. As Daniel turned into the narrow street near his company's headquarters, traffic snarled into chaos, horns echoed, engines idled, and frustration floated thick in the air. That was when the woman stepped out from between parked cars and planted herself directly in front of his vehicle. Her coat was worn, her shoes soaked, and her eyes burned with the fury that came from months of swallowed injustice. She raised her hands, not in surrender, but in defiance, refusing to let him pass. Her name was Maya Collins, and life had not been gentle with her either. She worked as a junior project coordinator at Hayes Global Solutions, a position that sounded impressive to her struggling family but felt suffocating in reality. Late hours, tight deadlines, and a supervisor who constantly pushed her limits had drained her spirit. Her mother's medical bills piled up, her rent was overdue, and that very morning she had been told her request for emergency leave was denied. In her mind, the company's leadership was faceless, heartless, and cruel. She had convinced herself that the people at the top did not care who broke under the weight, as long as profits stayed high. So when the car tried to inch forward, Maya snapped. She believed it was another privileged executive trying to bully their way through, another symbol of everything that was crushing her. She blocked the car because, in that moment, standing still felt like the only power she had left. Daniel watched her through the windshield, confusion turning into concern. He saw the tremble in her hands, the dark circles under her eyes, and the exhaustion that mirrored his own. He could have honked, could have called security, could have asserted authority. Instead, he waited. The rain continued to fall, soft but relentless, washing over the city like a quiet reminder that everyone was fighting a battle no one else could see. Maya began pounding on the hood, shouting words fueled by frustration and fear. She accused him of thinking he was better, of ignoring the lives he ruined by being late, by being careless, by being powerful. Daniel listened, absorbing every accusation, every word that sounded eerily similar to the things he whispered to himself during sleepless nights. He did not interrupt, did not correct her, and did not reveal who he was. He simply let her release the storm she had been holding inside. Eventually, security guards approached, and the standoff broke. Maya stepped back, suddenly aware of how far she had gone. Embarrassment replaced anger as she realized the attention she had drawn. The car drove away slowly, leaving behind a woman standing in the rain, heart pounding, unsure whether she had just ruined her job or reclaimed a piece of her dignity. Inside the building, Maya's fear grew with every step. She expected consequences, harsh ones. Her supervisor called her into a meeting later that day, her expression unreadable. Maya's hands shook as she sat down, bracing herself for termination. But instead of anger, she was met with silence, followed by a question that caught her off guard. She was asked if she was okay. Truly okay. The question alone cracked something inside her. Unbeknownst to Maya, Daniel had spent the morning replaying the incident in his mind. He arrived late to his executive meeting, but no one dared question him. He sat at the head of the table, distracted, thinking about a woman in the rain. He had seen desperation before, in his own mirror, in his daughter's eyes when she asked why mom was not coming back. Maya was not a problem to be solved, she was a person hurting. Daniel requested her file that afternoon. He learned about her performance, her consistency, her unpaid overtime, and her denied leave request. He learned about her mother's illness through a brief HR note. Every line felt like a personal failure. Somewhere along the way, he had allowed policies to replace compassion, and that realization hit harder than any accusation Maya had thrown at his car. Maya was later called into a larger conference room, a place she had only seen from afar. Anxiety weighed heavy on her chest as she entered. The room was quiet, almost reverent. Then the door opened again, and the man from the car stepped inside. Her breath caught. Recognition hit her like lightning. The stranger she had blocked, yelled at, and judged was Daniel Hayes, the CEO of the company. The room seemed to spin. Shame washed over her, followed by fear. She expected humiliation, expected to be made an example of. Instead, Daniel looked at her with something unexpected in his eyes, understanding. He spoke calmly, acknowledging the incident without anger, explaining who he was and why he had not said anything that morning. He told her about being a single father, about the pressure of responsibility, and about how easily people forget there are humans behind job titles. He did not scold her. He apologized. He apologized for creating a culture where an employee felt so unheard that standing in front of a car felt like the only option left. He approved her emergency leave, arranged support for her mother's care, and promised changes that would prioritize people over deadlines. Maya listened, tears streaming down her face, overwhelmed by relief and guilt and gratitude all at once. The days that followed marked a quiet transformation. Maya returned to work with a lighter heart, supported and valued. Daniel began making visible changes within the company, encouraging empathy, flexible policies, and open communication. Employees noticed. Morale shifted. Productivity followed, not because people were afraid, but because they felt seen. Daniel's daughter met Maya weeks later during a company family day. The little girl laughed freely, her fever gone, her smile bright. Watching them together, Maya realized how close she had come to judging a man who was carrying his own heavy grief. Daniel, in turn, saw how resilience could bloom when someone was simply given space to breathe. Life did not become perfect. There were still hard days, tight schedules, and moments of doubt. But something fundamental had changed. A single act of confrontation had cracked open two guarded hearts and reshaped an entire workplace. The street where the incident happened became just another road in the city, but for Daniel and Maya, it would always mark the place where understanding replaced anger. As this story draws near its end, if it has touched your heart even a little, if it reminded you of the power of compassion in a world quick to judge, please take a moment to like this video, share it with someone who needs hope, and subscribe to the channel for more stories that heal and inspire. Before the final moment fades, we have one special request. Please comment below and share what kindness means to you, or a moment when understanding changed your life. Your words might be exactly what someone else needs to read today. The woman who blocked a single dad's car thought she was fighting an enemy. Instead, she found a human being, broken and brave, just like her. And the man behind the wheel learned that leadership does not begin in boardrooms, but in moments when we choose to listen instead of react. In that quiet exchange, soaked in rain and emotion, two lives changed forever, proving that sometimes, the roadblocks we face are not there to stop us, but to wake us up.